Hi everybody, it's Athena from Sage Goddess. I hope you are doing well. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about charging your gemstones and doing that using a gemstone grid. And so today I am charging up gemstones that are specifically designed for magic around prosperity and abundance. And this is in part a video for a live full moon ritual that I'm holding on Wednesday, November 28th, that I know many of you are coming to. So if you're getting ready for that ritual, or any ritual really, and you want to use gemstones and charge them for a specific purpose, this video is going to tell you exactly how to do that. And it's actually really a fun process. It's part of the intention setting process that we go through ahead of really any ritual experience, where we want to infuse the stones that we're working with our own particular desire, or our focus, or our intention, what it is that we want to do with these stones. And I've talked to you in the past about how all gems and minerals have a vibration, and certain gems vibrate higher than other gems. And actually, when we do gridding and when we do charging of gemstones, we use a lot of clear quartz, because clear quartz is the highest vibrational gem. And so when we include a lot of clear quartz in our altar space, when we use clear quartz to charge our gemstones, we're really taking the vibration of the other gems that we're working with and just magnifying it in a really powerful way. So I'm going to show you how we do that in just a second. What I want to tell you about working with gems for a particular ritual or magical purpose is that gems do have meaning, and so there are particular gems that are better for some forms of magic and some forms of focus or intention than others. So today what I'm going to be showing you are the gems that I would use, or that I recommend for magic around prosperity and abundance, and November is the month for this work. It's no accident that we celebrate Thanksgiving in North America in November. There are lots of traditions and holidays around the world and back in history that honor really that theme for November. Ahead of the holidays in December, which also historically have always been around, it's a celebration as well in December, but in December it's about giving, and in November it's really about, celebrating what we've received. So let's get right down to business. I also want to mention that when you prepare for ritual or for magic, it's really important to go through the process and take the time to set up a beautiful altar space. I rotate my altar every 4 weeks, and that's a really important part of my magical process. I enjoy it. I'm very intentional about the colors and the textures and the look and feel of it, because I'm aligning that particular magical space with my intention for the month. And so after November or October with the blood moon, was really about shadow work and acknowledging death and the veil between worlds, and it was a darker altar space. This month, when we're talking about prosperity and abundance, I've chosen really beautiful, candle holders in shades of gold, different kinds of ornate leaves and flowers, and garland in shades of gold. My oil vessel is in green for prosperity. I have a really large altar piece of Aventurine that I keep on my altar space every November, and Aventurine is just a stone that really supports abundance, prosperity, fertility, growth, and all of those things that we, when we think about abundance and trying to bring good fortune into our lives, and not just material harvest, but spiritual and emotional and relational harvest. These are the stones that support that work. So let me show you what I have on my altar tray, and then we'll get down to the business or the work of charging our stones. Okay, so I always have an altar tray in my space, and I rotate that out every month too. This one is in shades of gold, as you can see, and what I'm going to show you quickly here are the stones that I would recommend that you use for magical work around prosperity and abundance. And then I also want you to notice how much clear quartz I have. In this, I've made a ring of those stones, and in the center of that ring is a giant quartz terminator point, and it actually has chlorophyll in it. Such a killer piece. You don't have to have a huge terminator point like this or generator point like this. It helps, but you actually could just take a smaller piece of clear quartz and put that in the center of your ring of stones, and that would be effective too. Size doesn't always matter when it comes to stones. I like big stones. I've been collecting for so long that I've gotten kind of spoiled, but certainly don't want to encourage you to buy something that might be outside your comfort zone for magical purposes. You don't need to. And then I take 4 smaller quartz points. These are, some of them are naturally double terminated, some of them are single terminated, and I point them on the altar tray in the direction of the circle of stones that I've gathered. So that's 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These hold the directions. And then you're going to need a 6th point, and I recommend that this be double terminated. This one that I'm using actually has green tourmaline rutile in it, which is pretty cool again, but you know, don't get too crazy or too feel like it has to be too fancy. And then what I want to show you is around, or in my circle of gems, these are the abundance gems. If you bought the prosperity set that I created for this ritual, you have the baseline gems that I think you need to have. These are some additional, because some of you I know are going to use your own stones. And so if you have, for example, lapis, which is studded with pyrite, lapis is the queen stone. Lapis is the stone of royalty. Cleopatra, in her during her reign, would not allow anyone else to own lapis. It was considered a dedicated gem to her, and she actually crushed it to make eyeliner. The stones, the walls inside her palace were inlaid with lapis, so it has a long history of being a wealth attracting and a power stone. If you don't have lapis studded with pyrite, then just straight up pyrite's good too. Pyrite attracts financial abundance. Malachite is a business prosperity stone. If you have a business and you're trying to grow it and really develop it, then malachite's your stone. Jade is another prosperity stone. Some of these you'll recognize from the set. Jade is a strengthening stone. It's the stone of long-term success in business and long-term prosperity, and that's in many cultures, not just the West, but it's honored in the East as a prosperity stone too. Citrine. Look, if you were going to pick one stone to do magic around prosperity with, citrine's your stone. People who own businesses, I always tell them to put a citrine in their cash register, as it draws money. Keep it in your purse, in your wallet. Men, keep it in your pocket. Aventurine is the luck stone, luck in business, luck in prosperity. When I have friends and colleagues and clients who are going on job interviews, I always stick a piece of aventurine in their pocket. Good luck as you're trying to pursue new ventures. Chrysoprase. Chrysoprase heals our relationship to money. It's a healing stone, but when we talk about healing in the context of abundance and prosperity, some of us don't know how to receive. We were raised thinking that receiving is bad and giving is the only good thing to do. And so you need to heal that pattern, and chrysoprase is a very powerful stone to do that. And then green calcite, some people call green calcite the witch's stone. It is a magic stone. Green calcite allows you to see what needs to happen or what needs to be created in order to generate abundant flow. And so it's a stone of intuition, foresight, but in the context of prosperity and abundance, it's really just helping you see what you need to create. So, charging gems. When they're in this circle, I usually let them sit on my altar tray for 24 hours before I do what I'm about to do with you, which is charge up the grid. I will leave the grid for a month. This is going to stay intact until our ceremony, and then I'll dismantle it afterward. Sometimes when it's a prosperity grid, I will leave it up in another part of my house for the rest of the year. So sometimes I just love these grids so much I don't want to take them apart. I should tell you also that you need to clear your gems before you do this work with them, and the safest ways to clear gems are to either leave them in full moonlight overnight, or to smudge them with sage spray or sage smoke. These have been smudged, and so they're already ready, but ahead of this work, I'd recommend that you do that. Okay, charging your gems. You're going to take your double terminated quartz point, and I start in the East. By native traditions, which is a lot of what I practice and follow, we always start ritual process in the East and we end in the East. The sun rises in the East, it sets in the West, but if you want to see things in terms of full circle and looking at the medicine wheel and so forth, we begin in the East. So that would be the far right stone here for me on the right side of my terminator point. You're going to take the largest tip of your quartz point, touch that stone, and then go to the center generator. Then to the next stone, clockwise down into the generator. Then to the next stone, clockwise down into the generator. Next stone, and back to the generator. And as you're doing this, you can either say out loud or just visualize in your mind, what does that prosperity look like for you? What does that harvest mean for you? If it's financial, what does it look like? Is it someone giving you money? Is it customers coming to your business? Is it well-being for your family? Is it opportunity? Is it, reduction in conflict in your home or in your marriage? What does abundance look like? It doesn't have to be financial. We can be talking about emotional abundance. If you're full and prosperous emotionally, what does that happiness look like for you? What is that joy or that peace that you seek? What does it look like? And really turn it around in your mind. Really visualize it as if it's happening. Because when we set magical intentions, we have to get out of this hypothetical space like, well, if it happened, then I would do this. It's more about when it happens as opposed to if it's going to happen. And you being able to visualize it as if it's already come to pass is a really potent and powerful part of the magic. And I want you to begin that work now, which is why I'm posting this video ahead of our ritual process. Okay, I keep going around. You don't have to. I go around as many times as it feels like I need to, and then I stop, again, in the east. And then what I do is I just imagine that I'm going around one more time. I'm not touching the generator point. I'm going around one more time to connect all of those energies that I've just been collecting as I've gone around and touched stone to generator. I just want to connect them one last time, and I sort of imagine just a white beam of energy flowing around these stones. Stopping in the east. And then the final piece of this process for me is I take this double terminated wand, holding my hand in the east, connecting the energies from right here on this tray and extending them out east from my hand. And I just ask that the intentions that I'm setting for my prosperity and abundance, that they be aligned with the greater good of all beings. And so I send that energy from this collective space right here, these stones and these gems and minerals, and I send it out into the world. And I send it out into the world to begin to do its work. And we're doing that a couple of weeks in advance here, but even a couple of days in advance is really all you need. It's setting the intention. It's what I like to call putting energetic wheels in motion. This is a process, and it doesn't just unfold in the moment or in the hour of a ritual experience. It begins when you set the intention, and it ends when you decide that it ends. It ends when you decide that you have experienced the fulfillment or the harvest or the materialization that you're looking for. So I wish you well as you gather your magical tools for the November Prosperity and Abundance ritual, or any ritual process that you're doing. This process is generic, and so anytime you want to charge up gems for a purpose, you can imagine that, instead this might be an altar space for love magic. And so around this generator point might be beautiful pieces of rose quartz and rhodochrosite and pink tourmaline, green tourmaline, like lots of heart chakra stones. And then you could charge all of those up with a generator and then send that love energy out to the world. So there's lots of examples of ways to do this with stones for particular purposes, but this month in November we're really focused on prosperity and abundance, and I just trust and set the intention that your harvest is coming, and I'm really honored and proud to be part of the ritual that will bring that to being. So for now, I send you blessings from my little corner of the world to yours, and I look forward to seeing and hearing what you do as you're charging your gems. I would love to see your ritual spaces as they come together ahead of our time together. So please feel free to post pictures here on the event page. I'm sure people would just love to see what you're putting together, and of course I would love to as well. So bright blessings for now from Sage Goddess, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Take care until then.